What is going on, everybody? It's Friday. Not that it feels like Friday for me. I can't figure out the days anymore. With all these days off. Big time slate, 14 gamer, and it's one of the more unique pitching slates we've had in that I don't really care too much about the top of the pitching. It's all in the middle tier. Jake, how'd your Thursday go?
Thursday was okay. PGA is going really well for me. I don't know. That probably won't hold up, but I looked at my winnings and I was kind of shocked.
Well,
MLB was fine. Yeah, MLB was fine last night. Nothing huge, but got everything back that I wanted. I understand that you had a pretty good night once again. Got a home run pick. We both got homers. Yeah, it was a pretty good night overall. So tell people about your night.
Yeah, I got my dong. Odor, my man, went perfectly there. And then I had another really big night playing. Almost took down a GPP on FanDuel, finished third. Big return again, and I'm continuing my heater. Yesterday was about as good as it was going to get outside of actually banking a tournament. So I had a ton of Dodgers last night, dark. So went perfect. Can't complain one bit.
Yeah, I think we were all in all the good stuff. We liked all the expensive bats, and had the Texas game stayed quieter, if it didn't just completely go nuts, I probably would have had a really nice profit. But I was just way underweight on that game and overweight on like all the teams that went off that were higher priced: Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Nats. I loved. So it was good, but disappointing to see the chalk go crazy at the end.
Yeah, it's chalk was good for the Rangers. I would have liked that to honestly be a little quieter, but it didn't really make much of a difference. I had enough of the Dodgers and the Red Sox and the Yankees for it to be decent.
Right.
Finished third in the beanball last night. Macad. So.
The beanball.
Yeah, the old beanball. It's just it's that perfect range for me. I wish it was 150, honestly. But I'll take 25 on FanDuel. That'll work.
That will work.
We got a lot to talk about. You ready to dive in?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alrighty, we should see ownership projections shortly. Let's do this. First game up, Cardinals and Pirates. Cardinals, 3.5 run implied total. Pirates, 4.4. It's a 60% chance to win for the Pirates. John Gant going for St. Louis. Chris Archer making his debut for the Pirates. And let me tell you what, loving Chris Archer. One of my most owned pitchers of the day, if not my most owned. 8,200 only against the Cardinals. I'm completely in. All I want is a ton of Chris Archer. I assume he'll be popular at that price point as well, but that's fine by me. What are you thinking about Archer?
Yeah, awesome play. I think he's going to be popular. I agree. Gets a lot of righties. He's striking them out at 27% this year and getting a lot of swinging strikes in his last 3 starts, 15+% in each of those, 46% ground ball against righties. And then you look at the Cardinals total, 3.7 runs. Everything just adds up to him being a very, very good play. So I'm hoping he's not too chalky, but I have a pretty good feeling that he's going to be 30+%.
Yeah, we should have ownership in about 5 minutes. Yeah, he almost has to be really highly owned at that price point. 8,200 is just way too cheap for the things that he can do. It's a pretty silly price in my opinion. Where do I have him from a strikeout perspective? Third. Okay, so Verlander, DeGrom, and then Archer is my third highest strikeout projection. So, yeah. When you get that at 8,200, you got to mash it. 3.5 run implied total for the Cardinals is kind of crazy. That's low for them.
3.5?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So it's gone down even a little bit. I think it was at 3.9 yesterday when I first looked.
And
So
I could be wrong at this point too.
no, I'm seeing 3.6. Yeah, so
same page.
You're right on it. Yeah. What about like bats in this game? Do you like bats in this game?
I like the Pirates on FanDuel. That's about it, and it's just because they're like crazy cheap. Adam Frazier projected to lead off, only 2,200. It's just a bargain price. I like Starling Marte at 3,400, Polanco at 3,600, and then Colin Moran 2,200 for a third baseman hitting cleanup. So they're just really easy to get to as like a cheap stack. It's a shame that they have 3 outfielders that are, super playable. They've got 5 outfielders of their 8 hitters as options today, which is not the best way to do it. But you can get to since I'll have Archer a lot on FanDuel, the Pittsburgh portion of my stack will likely be just a 3-man. So if that's the case, I think it's really easy to get to 2 outfielders and Moran, and then be able to pay up for basically whatever bats you want after that. Other than that, there's no bats in this game for me. I don't like the Cardinals side, and I don't really like the Pirates side on DraftKings.
Yeah, I'm not on the Cardinals side. You look at Gant against lefties, and this is one of the highest hard contact rates I've seen for a pitcher this deep into the season. 59%. They're just squaring him up. Yeah, 59 against lefties for Gant.
Okay. Even still.
I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know if something's broken with him with the StatCast data or the FanGraphs data, but it's hard not to be interested in Moran, Frazier, and Polanco. So those are the guys I like. I'm not super wild about Ozuna or Luplow, righty here. Gant's been good against righties, so just wanted to mention those 3 and Gant's weird numbers against lefties.
Yeah, that's really, really bad.
Yeah. When you watch him, I mean, he doesn't look that bad. But I don't know. Maybe I just haven't watched him enough. But yeah, he gets blasted by lefties. It looks like.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page. The priority is Archer, and I think that'll be a lot of people's priority as well.
Yeah.
Moving on. Actually, let me retweet the link first. Now moving on. Marlins. Hate talking about the Marlins and Phillies. 3.7 run implied total for the Marlins. 4.7 for the Phils. It's a 61% chance to win for the Phillies. Trevor Richards going for Miami. Vince Velasquez going for Philadelphia. Much like my opinion of Chris Archer, I have a very similar opinion of Vince Velasquez. I have the same ownership for Velasquez I have for Archer right now. They both hit my 35% cap for today. I just have a ton of these guys. Velasquez misses bats. There's some swing and miss in this Marlins lineup for right now. They've been striking out at an above average rate against righties this year. Velasquez has the stuff to mow them down. Under 4 implied total. What's not to like? Justin Bour is basically the only thing that has a pulse for me from a fantasy perspective on the Marlins side. Again, no bats. All I want is Velasquez. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I like Velasquez a ton. So if everyone's going to go to Archer in his debut, he's the bigger name, I think. But Velasquez has a higher strikeout rate. He's got a lower xFIP. If I don't, oh no, Archer has a lower xFIP. I was looking at Geo there, but still in the same range. He gets a ton of swinging strikes as well. Can be more efficient than Archer at times, and this matchup is better. You get all these righties, and it's not like the Cardinals have power. The Marlins really don't. I know it's worse weather here, but I like Velasquez just as much, if not more, than Archer. So he's just really, really good against righties. He's much better at home, like a lot of these Phillies pitchers are. And yeah, he's a bigger favorite too. So yeah, give me some Velasquez as well. I'll just go higher on whichever pitcher is projected to be lower in our ownership.
Speaking of ownership,
I just saw that too. There we go.
I'm always excited to click on DraftKings ownership for the first time and just be like, what in the world? There's Archer at the top. There's Velasquez, number 2. All that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so... anything interesting? Not really.
I mean, it's kind of expected, I think.
Yeah. I'm way over the field on Anibal Sanchez right now. And I have no Pat Corbin, and we've got 15%, so that's a little interesting. But we'll get there. Ownership is in.
Yeah, it's... Ooh, wow, Brett Anderson's only 4%? I thought he'd be chalkier than that. Oh, we got to talk about the other side of this game. Trevor Richards, I think he's someone that I was going to have a ton of if he started yesterday. But Pablo Lopez started because the game on, what was that, Wednesday got postponed. So I still like Richards again. His price went up, though, and it's a little bit different of a slate with a ton of mid-tier options. So I'm not going to have as much of Trevor Richards as I would have yesterday, but I still think he is a good pitcher. He's got a really good changeup, and you see all these lefties in the Phillies lineup at the top. That'll probably turn some people off and the 5-run total, but I'm playing some Trevor Richards. He was really impressive against the Nationals, another lefty-heavy team, a better lefty-heavy team in my opinion, and I don't think anybody's going to be on him, so I'm on Trevor Richards as well.
No Trevor Richards for me. Barring any weird changes to that line, I won't be anywhere near him. There's too many other good options out there today.
There are a lot of good options in the mid tier. Outside of the mid tier, I'm not crazy about anything, but
I like DeGrom quite a bit. But again, we'll get there.
Yeah.
And nobody projected to really be owned from a bats perspective here. I'm just going to circle back to that Cardinals game quick just to see if there's any ownership on either of these sides. Starling, Marte, and Moran on FanDuel. Other than that, nothing interesting. So, no real news for that ownership from the Cardinals-Pirates game. Archer, 31% on DK. That's right where I thought he would be. Similarly for Velasquez, I'm over the field. We're only projecting 22. I've got 35, but those two guys are going to be owned quite a bit on this 14-game slate.
Yeah, not crazy, though. I mean,
no.
Not anything where I'm scared off of using them because of their ownership.
No, I mean, there's too many relevant guys today. Like, there's a lot. If you just work your way down, Verlander, DeGrom, Corbin, even Marco Gonzalez, Clevenger, Severino, Porcello, Wood, Archer, Velasquez, like all of these guys are solid guys that could be owned pretty well on a shorter slate.
Yep.
Big time pitching day. Just spread out. Speaking of the Nats, did we speak of the Nats? Oh, that was before the show started and Harper. Anyway, Reds 3.9 run implied total. Nationals 5.2. It's a 63% chance to win for the Nats. Anthony Desclafani going for Cincinnati. Gio Gonzalez going for Washington. No Desclafani for me, as per usual. I do have quite a bit of Gio, as per usual. We've got him at 10% on DK. I've got 17. I've got a couple lines of him on FanDuel as well. It's just a good price point. $7,000 for a guy that can miss bats. There's not a lot of pop in that Reds lineup. So I'm happy to take a look at that. And I just want to point out from JM in the chat, called the Suarez home run off of Scherzer last night too. So
that's cheating. He's the cheat code.
I'm on quite the heat.
That doesn't count. I'm not. You can't have that. That's my man. I had a bunch of them actually. He just comes up so high, against righties too. Yeah. Even against Scherzer, like factoring in that matchup, he just still graded out as a really good value for me.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of them. I was pretty pumped. Yeah, that guy, most underrated hitter I think this year at least.
He's so good. I like him a lot.
God, I just love him. And he gets a lefty today. Oh.
Yeah, speaking of that lefty, what do you think of Gio?
Yeah, he's underpriced. This is kind of the price range where I like to play Gio. I'm not super pumped about his upside. And you've got weather here, so that may be enough to get me off of him. I usually don't need a lot to get off him, but I like that he's going deep into games. He's getting 107, 114 pitches in his last start. Anytime you get a pitcher for like 7K doing that, it ups his floor. I know this matchup isn't great, but I will probably have some Gio just because I like his price point. And I'm just like double stacking this mid tier on a lot of my lineups, or at least that's what I plan on doing right now. Mixing in all these guys. He's a pretty sizable favorite. I'm guessing he's going to have a lot of run support, or I'm assuming he's going to have a lot of run support. I assume you're the same way, but I think Eugenio Suarez is going to dong off of him. So
let's see where I have him in the home run model right now. Got to be pretty high. Not as high as I expected, actually. 56th. Gio's got a really good home run rate, so that's bringing it down.
He's really, really good against lefties. So like Votto and Suarez, or Votto and Jeanette in there, I don't want to play them.
No.
I'll play Suarez. That'll be my way to hedge my Gio shares. But yeah, it's not that scary of a matchup for Gio for me.
No, like I've got a lot of this game just all over the place. Nats are my 5th stack on both sides. And then Reds are 10th on FanDuel, 9th on DK. So I'm double the field. They're not like owned big time, but I've got a lot of the top of the Reds order, and I'm fine with that. So Peraza, Irvin, Suarez. I'll have some Joey Votto because he's Joey Votto. I don't necessarily mind that, Gio's pitching. I don't expect a Votto home run, but he could still walk 3 times and be on base for a Suarez dong.
Yeah.
And Nats stack as per usual. I don't like that I'm with the field for the most part. But Trey Turner, Harper, Matt Adams, I mean, basically everybody in the lineup is in play. I've got a lot of clearly better than Tyler Flowers catcher Matt Wieters on DraftKings.
Oh, God.
I only meant for last night, but it was an interesting conversation.
I'm glad I wasn't around for that one. Actually, I kind of wanted to hear that.
I mean, Wieters was like 4% owned. Tyler Flowers was projected for like 16.
I mean, that's always a logical pivot.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't like
for hitters.
I don't think it was some hot take. They're catchers. I don't really like either of them.
Yeah.
Andres, we appreciate you too, my man.
Yeah. We do.
Is there anything else interesting in this game? I mean, it's just sort of like the same story. Stack the Nats.
I just want to reiterate. I'm super high on the Nats again tonight. I'm just riding this team while they're hot. They're just nuts right now. 48% hard contact against lefties for Desclafani. Just 11% soft contact. He's going to get blasted here. I'm very confident in that. So, like I came in yesterday with all those home run picks for the Nats. I said like all the lefties were hitting dongs. I still feel the same way tonight against Desclafani and that Reds bullpen.
Damn.
This game does have weather concerns. We should mention that.
Yeah. So look, there's a ton of weather on the East Coast. Again, just you got to pay attention to it closer to lock. There's no reason for us to like go crazy. So if a game is playing in the Northeast, just assume it's going to rain in some form or fashion.
Desclafani is really bad at holding runners too. So Trey Turner, 5,200 is fantastic.
Good call, Shark. Let's check that out. How did Duvall do last night? The guy came in and said he had a batting average of 150 against the Mets in his career, so he was going to be a bad play. We let him know that he was a dum-dum.
Good analysis.
Yeah, 0 for 3 with a run scored and a walk. So.
Oh, that guy's just walking around, chest puffed out today. Told you, 150 batting average.
It was a terrible. I just hope he was trolling us and we bid on it, because if he actually thinks that, God, he must be bad at this.
Maybe he just wanted a reaction out of Chris.
He got it more out of me. That shit frustrates me. I shouldn't say that out loud because now I'm going to get it, but we'll be fine. Yeah, I don't know. This game, it's just all Nats for me. I'll have a little bit of Reds to fill in because they're relatively cheap and they've got a good mix of positional talent, like shortstop, first, third. I like Gio. I hope I like Gio more than the field by the time this game rolls around.
Yeah, I think what is his ownership at? I didn't.
10.
Okay, that's fine with me.
I've got
like
17. I think that I'd like to be a little bit over the field here.
Just keep an eye on the old weather.
Yep. Alrighty, moving on. Cruising through these games so far. That's kind of the thing on these big 14-game slates. There's a lot of not anything to talk about. That's when we have like 8 and 9-game slates, we feel like we have a little bit more time, but I mean, like, I don't have shit to say about the Angels today. Speaking of, 3.5 run implied total for the Angels, 5 run implied total for the Indians. It's a 66% chance to win for the Indians. Jaime Barria going for the Angels. Mike Clevenger going for Cleveland. This is just kind of there from a pitching standpoint. No way am I touching Barria. Clevenger, though, expected 9% ownership. I've got 7. As long as this game stays relatively close to the total, I'll have a little bit of Clevenger. Are you looking at him at all?
No, the Angels have just been so good against righties as of late, and I'm not crazy about Clevenger anyways against this team. They're good at putting the ball in play, and Clevenger is not great against lefties. They've got Valbuena in there, Ohtani, Calhoun off the top, so and they've got Arcia down there. Not that he's a great hitter or anything, but just a little bit too tough of a strikeout matchup for Clevenger. And then I'm just really looking to use these guys in the 7 to 8K range, so I don't know that I'll get to much Mike Clevenger, if any at all. I'm not playing a lot of Angels bats besides Ohtani. I think he is a great play here. Trout's questionable. You see that?
I didn't.
I don't know why. Oh, he sat out yesterday?
Sat out. Oh. Yeah, well, he sat out yesterday.
Oh, that was the early slate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Injured wrist.
Okay. Ooh, that's not great.
You know who else had an injured wrist?
Who?
Justin Turner.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what he was? He was a quick hit yesterday. Do you know what he did?
No.
Tater salad, baby. Woo!
Yeah.
Keeping the heater alive.
You really are.
Laser show.
So, yeah, I'm not looking at either of these pitchers, really. I like Edwin Encarnacion against Barria. Barria's struggled with hard hits against righties a lot this year. And then you've got, obviously, those 3 really good hitters off the top that I'm always looking to play. So the top 4 is a pretty easy stack for me to get to for the Indians.
Yeah, Indians number 6 stack for me on FanDuel, 4th on DK. I got double the field on DraftKings. I'm surprised they're not owned more. Those first 4 guys are awesome. And on a day where you don't have to pay up for pitching, I would expect those first 4 guys for the Indians to be owned even more than they are. Brantley's probably one of my favorite guys of the day. I think he'll probably be a quick hit. I can tell you if I look at it right now. Yeah, he's absolutely going to be in quick hits today. So I love Lindor, Brantley, Ramirez. I like Encarnacion quite a bit more than I like Alonso now that the prices have stabilized. Happy to use Kipnis as a second baseman. Happy to use Yan Gomes as a catcher. I like the Indians a lot here. I'm doubled up over the field. Works for me.
Yeah, I think they're one of my top 5-6 stacks on the slate.
There you go. And I have no interest in the Angels. Not at that run total.
No.
It's just not for me. And they're a little expensive. And they're really hard to try to group up. The first 4 hitters are all projected to be outfielders. What do you do with that?
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
Tough construction.
Yeah.
Moving on. Ooh, this is a rough one. Braves and Mets. Braves 3.2 run implied total, lowest on the slate right now. Mets 3.8. It's a 58% chance to win for the Mets. Anibal Sanchez going for Atlanta. Jake DeGrom going for New York. I'm a little surprised here. I thought that my projection or my exposure for DeGrom was going to be close, but we've got him at 23% ownership on DK. I only have 13. and we've got 29% on FanDuel. I've only got 19, so I'm a decent amount under the field. I'm well over the field, however, on Anibal Sanchez. Only 6% expected ownership on DraftKings. I got 20. So talk to me about pitching here. I know you like DeGrom, and I do as well. Are you nervous at all about that 23%?
No, not really. He's a spotlight pitcher. He's just so consistent, right? So he's gone at least 7 innings in each of his last 13 starts, and then he's had 7 strikeouts and 7 or more strikeouts in 11 of those outings. And then what I wrote is just that the Braves aren't like a perfect strikeout matchup when you go down the order. A lot of strikeout rates under 20%, but just for safety reasons, I think I prefer him over Verlander. So he's the guy I want to go to rather than Verlander against a white-hot Dodgers team with a sick-looking lineup. Not that the Braves don't have a good lineup, because they absolutely do, but it just drops off after the top 5 or so. So I'm going with DeGrom as my spend-up option. I like him at home, and there are some strikeouts here. Maybe not as many as you'd like to see, but nothing that he can't overcome.
Yeah, so DeGrom is also my spend-up option, but 13% is the most ownership I have until I get down to Chris Archer at 8,200. So I'm just sort of avoiding all of the high-end pitching today, by all accounts. My weighted average pitching cost is 8,100. Based on our expected ownership, pitching is at 8,600. So again, I'm going to be paying up for more bats today. And that's fine by me.
Yeah, I will be too. So I don't know how much DeGrom I will get to. I'm going to force in some, like at least like 15, 20%. Yeah. But if I'm a little bit under the field, it's not going to make or break. Like I'm not going to switch it on purpose.
I'm really surprised that I didn't get more, but I'm cool with it. That's right where I want to be. There's just too much mid-tier stuff today.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is really good in the mid-tier.
Although it does make me feel like it's a bit more of a dice roll, and I'm always a little nervous there.
What's a dice roll?
Grabbing those mid-tier dudes. Like somebody in like the Alex Wood, Archer, Velasquez area is going to get bombed. I just don't know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. But if you have exposure to 4 or 5 or 6 of them, if there are 6 viable guys,
yeah,
you're going to land on the right combination a couple times. I mean, if you think they're all the same, I'm obviously going to have different percentages of all of them. I'm not just going to go 25, 25, 25 across the board, but
right.
I'll pick out my favorites and then mix in the other guys around them.
I was bouncing around from screens. Did you talk about Anibal Sanchez at all?
No. I don't hate Sanchez. I think he's going to be a little bit over-owned.
6%?
He's been good.
I got 20, so
yeah.
He's
okay,
over-owned,
that's
over-owned
6%.
for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you like him, might as well go for him. He's going to be one of the least chalky guys in this tier, and it's not like the Mets are rolling out an all-star squad. Frazier's back in there. That's a little bit worrisome. Even righty. Their top 5 looks a lot better than it has lately. So I think Sanchez is fine. I still can't get over that I don't think he has strikeout upside. I mean, 23% for the season is good. That's solid, 10% swinging strike rate, but I just can't see him going out and getting like 8 or 9 strikeouts, whereas I could see a lot of these guys around him doing that, like Archer and Velasquez and Odorizzi. So that's my beat. I don't know if that's just a bias I have against Anibal Sanchez, but I think he's pretty safe for 15 points, which is fine.
Yeah, I've got him projected for 16.8. There's a lot of swing and miss in that Mets lineup outside of Jeff McNeil, so I'm willing to take a chance there.
Yeah.
The 3 games that didn't have totals just dropped their totals. Looks like I was on for the White Sox and for the Angels-Cleveland game, but I was a full run below, and it's growing for Baltimore, Texas. I had it in for 10. It is 11 with the juice hitting the over right now.
Wait, what game was that?
Baltimore, Texas. The total is now 11 with a very heavy shade to the over. So, oh boy.
They maxed out all their bullpen arms yesterday too, right? So I need to look at that and make sure, but I'm just assuming they both have taxed bullpens, and they're already bad to start with.
Yeah. It's that there's going to be runs galore there, or at least you would expect there to be.
Yeah.
What's the weather like there? I assume it's hot.
I hope this isn't one of those Oakland and Coors series where I keep like going underweight, and they just never have a game where they score like 3 runs. But I have a feeling it's just going to be 11-10, 12-8, like games all series.
Yeah. So it's all pitching for me in this Braves Mets game. I don't have any bats. Just a very tiny amount of Mets on FanDuel, but everything I want is on the hill.
Got it. Yeah.
Oh man, that is so many runs in that stupid Orioles Rangers game. Rangers implied total right now 6.3. It's a full run ahead of the Indians, who are second.
Jeez.
Alrighty. White Sox and Rays. White Sox, 3.6 run implied total. Rays, 4.5. Is that right? Oh my god, how are they such big favorites? Anyway.
Because Luke Giolito.
That's true. 59% chance to win for the Rays. Luke Giolito going for Chicago. Ryan Stanek going for Tampa. You're not rostering pitching in this game. And you're probably not rostering any hitting outside of maybe the Rays on DraftKings, who have some super cheap pricing. So I'll get to some Rays stacks on DK, more like a secondary stack. So it's Kiermaier, Jake Bauers. If Michael Perez is the catcher for the Rays, I'll have a bit of him at only 3,000. And then take your pick on like Matt Duffy or Tommy Pham.
All right. So, I like Rays bats a ton. Anytime Giolito's going to be on the slate, I'm looking to stack. He's the perfect type of guy to stack against. He walks guys, gives up hard contact, especially to lefties. So this is an awesome Jake Bauers spot.
Yeah.
Like he's my favorite play in this game by far. But I like Pham, Michael Perez, you said, CJ Cron. You can play all those guys now that they have dual position eligibility for Bauers. And then Kiermaier in the outfield grades out pretty nicely for me. So I'm on this Rays stack. I don't even hate Wendell down in the 7th spot. Giolito, they're not going to do it with homers probably, but I could just see them piling up run after run and then getting into this White Sox bullpen. So maybe you're going to have to do it with some small ball, and they'll just get overlooked on this slate. But I'm on the Rays for sure. And then do you know who's coming in after Stanek?
I didn't even look. I probably should have.
I think that pitcher, if he's able to go 5 or 6 innings, if they're going to do the long relief thing, I think that pitcher deserves some consideration.
You might be right there. I'm going to pull up the Rays right now and see who's been throwing out of the bullpen.
Austin Pruitt. It's got to be Pruitt, right? If he's healthy. He hasn't pitched in a week.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched since the 26th, but he only threw
34. Yeah, damn it. Can't be Yarbrough. He just threw 91 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Who's? Is it Kittredge?
Yeah. It could be Kittredge.
No one's gonna go deep enough.
No.
To be able to use, I don't think. Damn, that sucks. Because they used up Beeks, Yarbrough, and Faria in the last 3 days. Yeah, I don't think they can go to Yarbrough again here for more than a couple innings, maybe. So probably can't use any Rays pitchers. Would have been nice. 3.5 run total for the White Sox. But I mean, when they can throw these bullpen arms at you for an inning or 2 at a time, it's just tough to want to stack against them.
I have no White Sox.
Yeah, I think Polka and Moncada are both fine just as one-off power bats because they're going to see a good helping of righties. But that is really about it. I just can't stack the White Sox in this park, and you don't know who they're going to be going up against for the majority of the innings. So, yeah, that is it for this game.
Same. Not a lot to talk about. I like it. Yankees and Red Sox. Yankees, 4.7 run implied total. Red Sox, 4.1. The 56% chance to win for the Yankees. Luis Severino going for New York. Rick Porcello going for Boston. I have a very small amount of Severino. We're projecting 6%. I have 4. Otherwise, I'm not really looking for any pitching here. And I'm not even really looking for all that much from a bats perspective. I've got a little bit of the Yanks. I'm with the field. Most of my ownership is just Stanton. So otherwise, like I don't love this game today. Not nearly as much as I loved it yesterday.
Yeah. So we were right too about the timing of this game. I looked; it was like 3 hours in, and they were in the bottom of the 6th. It's like, come on,
the Cubs old game, late night hammer at 7:00.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I know there were a lot of runs, but it was before like Pierce had 2 dogs even. So it was ridiculous. The other games that started an hour later were passing him up. So we're gonna see that again.
Yeah.
I don't like Severino here. I don't like Porcello here. Not in Fenway, in this park. Wind blowing out. It was a lot. Yeah, still blowing out. So no thanks. 2 good teams with a lot of very, very good hitters. So I'm on both sides of this. Less on the Red Sox, but I will have bats from them. Like I'll have some bets and Benintendi and JD. Maybe not full stacks on the Red Sox, but definitely full stacks on the Yankees side with Hicks. Stanton, you mentioned Gregorius. I love Gleyber Torres against righties or lefties. And Greg Bird as well for 4,100. So that middle of the Yankees order is super appealing to me. And then I'll have some Red Sox one-offs.
First thing, Kevin in chat. Yes, you're absolutely crazy for Giolito. You should look into medication for that.
Okay, so yeah, I can't do it with Giolito. I just cannot do it. I know it's a good park. I know he's capable of good starts. God, he had a 15% swinging strike rate in his last start. How is that even possible? This guy is terrible. Like, he does that every once in a while. He'll have a really nice start. You look at the walks he had in that game, 1 walk. The 5 games before that, or the 6 games before that, the 5 games, he had at least 3. So he's so inconsistent, so volatile that on a 15-gamer, he could sink your team in 2 innings.
Very true.
14-gamer.
So I didn't get any Red Sox at all on my first crunch. I think they're just criminally overpriced here against Severino. I think I like Severino a little bit more than you do here. And really, I don't even have a ton of the Yanks. Like yesterday, I was double the field on these guys, but today I'm just with the field. And really, the only guy that I like from a value perspective is Stanton. I'll have a little bit of Gardner, a little bit of Gregorius. That's really it for me. I don't have a ton of interest in Aaron Hicks at 4,900. I don't really have a ton of interest. Like, I didn't get any Torres at 4,600. From a bats perspective, this game's just not grading out for me. I'm a little surprised. I expected this to be another spot where I was heavy, but not today, I guess.
Yeah, if I was using a pitcher here, it would be Severino, just because that price is tough to beat. That's about as low as you'll see him.
Yeah.
Just a hellish matchup, though. So I don't want to do it with him.
Yeah, it's a scary spot. Like I said, I have 4% Severino. That'll probably be where it ends up. Just, I don't know. Fair. Tonight's one of those nights where I think I want this game to just be quiet. You ready to talk chalk?
Yeah, let's chalk it up.
Chalk. Orioles and Rangers. Orioles 4.9 run implied total. Rangers a staggering 6.3. A full run higher than I expected it to be. So even when I crunched this and the Rangers were first on both, it's only going to get even more ridiculous. Man, oh man. David Hess going for Baltimore. Ugh. Ariel Jurado? Going for Texas? I got caught up on that J there. It doesn't matter. No one's playing pitching here, nor should you. Rangers, chalk stack of the day. 17% aggregate ownership on FanDuel. They are not the chalk stack on DK, however. We will get to that team in a little bit. They are second. The Rangers are my number 1 team on both sites. Orioles are 4th on FanDuel, 3rd on DK. I mean, it's impossible to avoid this game. Joey Gallo is probably the best value of anybody on the slate on FanDuel. He's 2,700. He's owned out the ass. I have a ton of them too. I don't like the bottom of the Baltimore lineup, but otherwise, you can't skip this game.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of same thing as yesterday. I don't want to play them, but I'll end up with some of them. It's just too good of a spot against not only bad pitchers, but bad bullpens too. So, yeah, it's really, really tough to avoid Gallo and Chu, especially Odor. If he's going to be patient too now. You see he walked 5 times yesterday?
Odor?
Yeah, he never walks, and he walked 5 times.
What did he do in the other at-bat then?
He homered.
Oh, did he homer? I wonder who called that. Oh, wait, that was also still me.
5 walks, not intentional either.
He was 1 for 1 with a home run, 3 RBI, 3 runs scored, 5 walks. Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Perfect day for Odor.
Yeah, I mean, what's there to talk about in this game? Honestly, you either fade the bats or you go way over the field with them. Like I don't think you want to match the field. You're not getting an edge with these hitters.
Who was in here yesterday talking about how you should never stack against Cashner and you're stupid if you do?
There's always a price and a slate where you can stack against anyone. You can stack against Verlander.
Yeah, but like Cashner in particular is dog shit always. Why are we acting like he's normally good? So shout out to that person from yesterday.
It's like the thing with Shields too. Like I stack against Shields less, but there are definitely times where I'm like, you should be stacking against him. It's an ownership thing when I'm referring to like guys like Shields that maybe don't get blown up as often as you think. People think that they just get blown up every time. Cashner is kind of the same way. I probably stack against him less, but
yeah. Well, the problem is you can't get blown up every day, or you're not in the league anymore.
Exactly. And people, yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, if my power goes out, there's a storm. I don't know.
Oh, it's pouring here too, so we might be doubly out.
All right, so if one of us goes out, hopefully it's me, because then you can still continue the show. But
sure.
I don't know if you guys
just doesn't stop raining anymore. Yeah, I don't have any like hidden wisdom. I don't love the bottom of the Orioles lineup, but I have a ton of VR and Beckham, Jones, Trumbo, Davis. Top of the order for the Rangers is incredible. The entire lineup on the Rangers on FanDuel is among the best values you'll find. But you got to play this game. I'm not. A 6.3 run implied total for the Rangers and a full run higher than any other team. Like, don't get cute.
Yeah, I mean, if you love other spots, like I love the Nationals, so I'll have more Nationals than this game probably. And I like the Twins, I like the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
So, 14-game slate. This isn't the only spot, but it is. I think Texas especially is the best spot when you factor in pricing and all of that. Ownership is a different story.
Exactly. That's it. And ownership is your own strategy. Like if you're building one line and there's 28 options today, we can't speak to everybody. All right. To the Rockies we go. Rockies and Brewers. Rockies 4.1 run implied total. Brewers 4.5. It's a 55% chance to win for the Brewers. Herman Marquez going for Colorado. Junior Guerra going for Milwaukee. Marquez projected 12% ownership, which surprised me a little bit. I've only got 3. And Junior Guerra, 13% expected ownership. I've got 11. So talk to me about the pitching here. I feel like this is sort of like a sleeper pitching game, but I don't really know why I like any part of this.
I'm much more likely to go to Guerra here at home. The narrative about getting the Rockies outside of Coors is backed up. They're just not the same against righties outside of Coors. Guerra can strike out lefties, 23% K rate, does give up some hard hits, 22% against righties. So pretty even splits. The hard contact is going to be the issue with Guerra. We've seen him have good strikeout games. Swinging strike rate is fine, near 10. He's not a great pitcher, but for 7,100 against this Rockies team. I think he's at least in play. Holy shit, it's hailing.
Dude, I can hear, like, it's loud in the background for you right now.
Dude, yeah, I gotta turn down, like, my gain on this.
Like,
you guys can...
It's, like, I can just tell that I can, like, hear it hitting windows.
Yeah. Well, this will be fun. Oh, yeah, that was Thundershark. It was great.
Yeah, that's aggressive. Yeah, like, I'm going to have a little bit of these guys, but I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion here. Rockies, number 3 stack for me on FanDuel, number 6 on DK. I am 5 times the field on FanDuel right now and 4 times the field on DK.
That's fine. I mean, that's a way to get different for sure. You know, I don't like the Rockies that much in this spot, but I'm actually more likely to go to the Brewers. I like the Brewers side of this all around.
So I'm doubled up on the Brewers on FanDuel, not so much on DK, but like Charlie Blackmon, I've got I'm like 3 times the field on him. He's 3% or 4%. I think that's kind of crazy. Cargo, similar story, just barely any ownership. He's only Carlos Gonzalez is 2,600 on FanDuel and 5,200 on DraftKings. His salary is double.
Yeah.
One of these sites is just like they accidentally deleted his cell on its pricing sheet or something.
Maybe.
It's filling from the wrong spot. Yeah, I like the first 5 guys here in this Rockies lineup. And they're the 5 guys that actually are like functional. Blackmon, LeMahieu, Arenado, Cargo, and Trevor Story. Like, that's a really nice stack.
Sure. Those 5 I like it all as hitters, especially with LeMahieu back in there. People don't like playing him for whatever reason, but I do. So,
damn.
Yeah, that's where I would go if I was going to the Rocky stack. I just don't think I'll get to them.
And then Brewers on FanDuel, again, super cheap. I've got a lot of Moustakas. I got a lot of Christian Yelich, tons of Travis Shaw, tons of Eric Thames. Like, Thames, 2,900. Shaw, second base eligibility now, 2,800. Moustakas, 3,300. Yelich, 3,900. Like, there's a 4-man Brewer stack there that you can get to easy, and I'm doubled up on the field. So I like that a lot. I just have, like, little bits of everything here. I could see one of these teams being, like, the stack that you need. That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, no one's going to go here, I don't think. So
yeah.
I just like the Brewers when no one goes to them. They're in a decent park. I mean, I'm not super scared of Guerra, like, mowing him down or anything like that. And then they added Moustakas. Yelich, I love always against righties. Aguilar, just a really big power bat in there. And then Shaw and Thames at 5 and 6. That's really tough. So I'm in on the Brewers.
Yeah, this game feels like it gets a lot of solo homers from the Brewers. And they go like, strikeout, strikeout, dong. Strikeout, strikeout, dong.
That's my kind of game.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'd like somebody to go like strikeout, walk, dong, just to boost those points. Other than that, yeah, I'm gonna have way more than this game than the public, which is insane. All right, Rockies, come on down. You're gonna be. I assume that's the team I'm over the field on the most. Oh yeah, and it's not even close. Go Rockies. Go Rockies.
Go Rockies, I suppose, for your sake.
Yeah. Hey, at this rate, I'm almost assuredly going to be right. Royals and Twins. Time to talk popular. Royals, 3.9 run implied total. Twins, 5.2. It's a 64% chance to win for the Twins. Keith Philmeyer going for Kansas City. Jake Odorizzi going for the Twins. Projecting 17% ownership for Odorizzi. I've got 20. I think he's a really nice option at his salary point. Talk to me about Jake Odorizzi, president of the Minnesota Jakes.
Just an underrated pitcher at home against the Royals, who are just trash. Striking out 26% of righties this year, getting a lot of swinging strikes. He had a 20% swinging strike rate 2 starts ago, which is kind of crazy. Only a few pitchers have done that this year. So he's got the upside, if his stuff is right, to miss all these bats really. Especially the bottom of that lineup is pretty brutal. So I'm on Odorizzi. I was expecting him to be somewhat higher owned, like up near Archer, but I'll take it for 7,800. He's one of my favorite options of the night. Him, Velasquez, and Archer are all basically the same for me. So him being the lowest owned right now, he was who I'll have the most of.
There you go. So the Twins on FanDuel, 17% aggregate ownership on a 14-game slate. They are the second chalkiest stack on FanDuel and the chalk stack on DraftKings.
Wow.
Listen to this pricing. Eddie Rosario on FanDuel is $2,900. That is the most expensive hitter in the FanDuel lineup. Next closest is Polanco at $2,600. Almost everybody is up.
Wait, what's Rosario on FanDuel?
29.
Oh,
dude, the whole team is in the low twos. Everybody. Logan Morrison, 2,500. Sano, 24. Max Kepler, 21. Logan Forsythe, minimum salary. Jake Cave, 100 above minimum. Garver, 100 above minimum. Joe Mauer leading off, 2,400. No wonder there's 17% aggregate ownership. The whole damn team fits.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, they should not be that low priced. It's not like they have bad hitters. They still have a few good ones, even though they're trying to have as few as possible, apparently. Yeah, just
I blame
just
you. You're the GM, aren't you?
I would be doing a better job at GM with this team, I think. But yeah, just too cheap, and it's a great spot against the KC bullpen. Phil Meyer is okay, but if they get past him, they should dominate this bullpen, as most teams do.
Yeah. Look, I mean, the Twins are the stack that lets you do whatever you want. Multiple options at first base, outfielder, cheap shortstop, cheap third base. So, look, I'm going to have a bit of them, but I'll be way under the field if they're 17% aggregate on FanDuel. It's just too much.
Yeah.
I just don't need it.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then I'm right with the field on DraftKings. Top of the order looks the best. I don't have a ton of Mauer. I've got a little bit more Sano. I'm a big Sano believer in DFS, so he's been bad, though. He's been real bad.
He has been incredibly bad this year.
Just so much power there.
Yeah, but you got to hit the ball, right? I mean, Gallo is like, he's making Gallo look like D. Gordon, you know? Just,
yeah.
He cannot hit the ball.
You really can't. It's bad.
Can you even hear me while I'm talking?
Yeah, but it is loud as shit.
It's like hail for like 5 minutes, off, calms down, and then hail for another 5 minutes. Lightning, if you can see that.
I don't know if you saw what T. McBee said, but Sano, Polanco, Kepler, Mauer, 4-man stack, 9,500 total. Cost less than 4 pitchers on the slate.
Oh my god, that's so stupid. Because then you can just go like full Nats or whoever your expensive stack is.
You can go full everybody and still not finish paying all the salary out.
Right. They have one big inning and you're there.
Yeah. That's all you need. Yeah, Logan Morrison looks really good for me on DK. 3,700. He would be my favorite play out of everybody on DraftKings for the Twins.
Yep.
So
I like Rosario and Polanco ahead of him, but he's up there for sure.
Time for another unpopular opinion. I've got double the field of the Royals bats on DraftKings.
Why is that?
Lots of Alex Gordon, 3,500. Lots of Luke Duda, only 4,000. Merrifield with dual eligibility, second outfield, I've got quite a bit of. And then Salvador Perez as a $4,400 catcher. It's mostly all of those guys. A little bit of Herrera. But yeah, I've got 8% aggregate on DK compared to 4. I just like those first 4 for the Royals. They're kind of the only 4 that are any good.
Okay. That's probably who you would want to go to, right? Gordon getting the lineup bump. Already has had some success. Merrifield, prefer him against lefties, but he's still a at least average hitter against righties. I like Salvador Perez in this spot a lot, but I don't think I'll be going to many Royals stacks. So that's about all I got for this game.
Makes sense. Moving on. Giants and Diamondbacks. Giants, 3.6 run implied total. D-backs, 4.9. It's a 64% chance to win for the Diamondbacks. Chris Stratton going for San Francisco. Pat Corbin going for Arizona. Here's my hot take. 15% expected ownership for Corbin on DraftKings. I have 0. 14% aggregate owner, or 14% ownership on FanDuel. I've got 5%. I am essentially fading Pat Corbin tonight. Where are you at on Corbin?
Not a great matchup for Corbin. There are a few guys that I'm worried about for him. I like this run total against him, 3.6, but you start off McCutchen, Posey, Longoria. That's really tough. And even Slater and d'Arnaud can hit lefties too. Down in the order, Crawford's fine, lefty, and Corbin struggles with hard hits. So there's going to be some hard hits in this game. There's no doubt about it. It's just whether or not they find gaps or outfielders' gloves. So I don't like taking that risk with Corbin at 10-4, especially not if he's going to be one of the higher-owned pitchers on the night at 15%. I mean, he's got the talent to get through this lineup. I just don't know that I'll be going there. I want to get up. If I'm going in the 5 digits, I'm going to like DeGrom or maybe even Verlander.
I mean, that works for me. No interest in Corbin for me. He's in the exact same spot as Greinke was for me last night. Just there are better options north of him and below him, and I don't need to spend 10-4 just to spend 10-4.
Yeah.
Any interest hitting here? Because I've got a ton of the Diamondbacks on FanDuel, doubled up on the field, particularly in the Goldschmidt, Peralta, Pollock range.
Goldschmidt, Peralta, Pollock. I absolutely love that. And then throw in Eduardo Escobar. He's one of my favorite plays in this game. John Jay off the top. I mean, he's John Jay. He's 4,600. If he comes up in a couple stacks, that's fine, but not someone I'm forcing in. And then I like Descalso in the 7th spot. So this has a lot to do with Chris Stratton. He is not a good pitcher. He can strike out righties. That's about all I can say that's good for him, but tons of hard contact to both sides. Cannot strike out lefties. Just 14% rate this year. I think he's going to have a pretty rough go of it. So I'm all over this Diamondback stack.
Yeah, I'm not as interested on DK because I don't love the price points. They're just hyper cheap on FanDuel as per everyone else apparently. I think Goldschmidt's the only one whose price I like. Like Pollock at 5,400 is pretty expensive for me. There's no way I'm paying 4,600 for John Jay, unless he gets to like bat first and second or something. But I'm fine. Like Goldschmidt just looks really good. I love that dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's had trouble hitting righties. Pollock, same thing.
Yeah,
I'll play them against anyone below average from either side. So 2 through 7 is where I'm getting my Diamondbacks exposure. I think this is going to be one of the ways I differentiate from the field on the Texas-Baltimore game. I know it's not exactly the same price ranges, but I like they're priced up a little bit because that's going to get people off of them.
Yeah, I mean, their price point will definitely keep their ownership suppressed.
Did you like the Giants side at all? That top of the order?
Only Posey.
No McCutchen, no d'Arnaud?
I got 2% McCutchen and no Chase whatsoever.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like the Giants top of the order a little bit better.
Yeah, I won't get to it. I still think Corbin's good. I just don't like him from like a DFS perspective today.
I agree.
Tigers and A's. Tigers, 3.8 run implied total. A's, 4.9. The 62% chance to win for the A's. Blaine Hardy going for the Tigers. Brett Anderson going for Oakland. I have double the field on Blaine Hardy. This is similar to It's like Vargas yesterday, but with talent, or at least more talent. So I'll have a little bit of him to keep my expensive pitcher stacks cheap. And I'll have a little bit of Brett Anderson as well. This isn't a game for hitting for me all that much. I prefer the pitching. Talk about Blaine Hardy and Brett Anderson while I go and fill my water.
Yeah, two super cheap pitchers. They're guys that we know are going to be able to throw 85, 90 pitches if things are going well. And if you're throwing that many pitches, that means you probably avoided the early blow up. And that means you got a good chance to get double-digit points. And that's really what you need for 5K pitchers. You look at Oakland in the split when they're at home against the lefty, they're pretty bad. Sixth worst strikeout rate, almost 25%, 86 WRC plus. They don't get on base, below 300 on base percentage in that split as well. So just a tough park to hit in. And you see they crush when they go outside of Oakland against lefties. So I'm of the mindset that it's a lot of park factor is the reason they can't hit lefties at home. And that's exactly what they get against Blaine Hardy, who I don't think is very good, but he's just in a good park against a team that struggles against that handedness. And he can get some strikeouts against righties. You've got Chris Davis in there, and Chapman will strike out, and some of these other guys near the bottom of the order. So I think he can be okay. And then Anderson, you just look at the Vegas line, and he's got to be at least on your radar as a 5.1K pitcher on a slate with not a lot of options down here. So that's the appeal for these guys. I'm not crazy about either one. I'd probably have more Hardy than Anderson. I expected Anderson to be chalkier, but here we are, I guess, with these guys both under, what are they, under like 10% each?
Anderson's 4, Hardy is 6. I've got essentially double for both, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, like 10 to 12% of each of these guys, and call it good. Hope one of them does something. Who would you prefer in this spot?
Hardy.
Me too. Yeah. I'm just looking to see if I can find anything on Anderson that makes me want to play him, because the Tigers aren't a great strikeout matchup against lefties. They haven't been all year, even without Miguel Cabrera. And you've got Castellanos in there.
Well,
I like
all
him as
righties.
well.
Nine-man righty lineup right now.
And like 14.4% K rate for Anderson against righties. I don't know how he's going to be able to strike them out. They're going to make contact against him. That's for sure. So that's why I like Hardy. He strikes righties out almost 20%, which is below average, but at least he's shown he can do it in a few starts this year.
I guess I didn't shut my office door. I've got a puppy dog poking his head in. What's up, Briggs? Come here, buddy. You want to be on the show today? You want to get on camera? Give your thoughts on the Tigers-A's game? You want to just stare back at me and not do anything else? That's cool, buddy. Sounds good. So I've got a decent amount of the A's on DraftKings. I'm double the field. It's mostly Semien, Chapman, and Piscotty. And then we could rotate in like Lowry or Chris Davis. I don't want to have a ton of this, but I mean, it's not as if Blaine Hardy is like some world beater. There's a reason he's 4,900. So I don't mind being on the other side of that a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if both of these guys were out by the 4th inning. But at these prices in this park, I think you have to, if you're MMEing, this is a game you want exposure to for pitching, because you're just targeting a very, very good pitcher's park against two teams that, I'm more scared of Oakland, but I have more faith that Hardy can miss bats than Anderson.
I agree with you there. T. McBee, Briggs is a boxer. Two games left. This one, well, we're going to talk about pitching at least. Astros and Dodgers. Astros, 3.5 run implied total. Dodgers, 3.5 run implied total. Coin flip game. Justin Verlander going for Houston. Alex Wood going for LA. Verlander, only 5% expected ownership. I've got 8. I didn't expect to be over the field there. That's kind of surprising, but 13-1 will do that for a price tag. We're projecting 17% ownership on FanDuel, much more manageable. I've got 16, so I agree with Verlander and the public today. And then Alex Wood's got a 10% ownership projection on DK. I've got 6. So while I like both of these guys, I mean, I like they both have really good offensive teams. It's a really tough game to want to have a part of. I'm not touching any of the bats, and I'm not wild about the pitching. Is there anything that stands out for you that you do want to take a stand on?
I guess you have to consider Verlander, right? At 5%, don't you?
I don't know.
He shouldn't be. He's in that category for me where he should never be 5% owned on a slate like this.
So I'll say this: I have Verlander with a 26% chance of being a top 2 pitcher on DK. I have DeGrom at 25. So we can say that they're essentially the same. Is the $700 savings worth 5% ownership for Verlander to 23 DeGrom? Probably not. But at the same time, would you, with price considered, I'd rather have Archer by a mile than Verlander, and I'd rather have Velasquez than Verlander, because you can buy whatever bats you want when you do that. I just don't. It's hard to want to pay up to 13-1 for him.
Yeah, that's the issue. God. If he was 12K, or for some reason 11.5, because that's what I think he probably should be priced in this matchup against this team, I would have, I'd be really, really on him, just because he can shut down any lineup, and he goes really deep. They let him go 110, 115 pitches at times. And I would just take the ownership discount, because I still think he would be under 10% owned. 13-1 is tough, especially when you just saw what LA has done the last couple nights. I don't know. It's probably enough to keep me off of Verlander. I'm not going to X him out of my player pool or anything, but I just don't think he'll come up enough with my model prioritizing bats. That being said, not liking the Dodgers against him. If I had to choose a bat, it would probably be Manny Machado, I think, for 4,300.
Jock for me.
Jock. But yeah, that's fine. I mean, they're super, super cheap. The Dodgers are. So
they really
whatever.
Are.
If you want to go there, but even after Verlander, it's not like you're getting a cupcake bullpen.
No,
so.
Not at all. You're just getting wife beaters and stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah, how about that? Ozuna. Jeez.
You are frozen on my screen right now.
Am I?
Yeah.
Am I frozen on the YouTube screen? Oh, yeah, I am.
Yeah, you definitely are.
All right, let's see. How's that?
Welcome back, Jake.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this is a game where I hope it's 4-3, no homers, just completely unappealing from a fantasy perspective. I'm just really not going to have much of it.
Yeah, God, I want to have something in this, because people are just gonna. So I'll have Astros bats against Wood. I'll say that. I will definitely have some Houston bats: Springer, Bregman, Gurriel. I like Max Stassi against lefties a ton, but is there not going to be any Gaddis in this lineup?
Doesn't appear so right now, which is weird.
Yeah. If he was in there, I would like the stack even more, especially batting 4th or 5th. But that's where I'll go with most of my bats in this game is Houston, just because I'm not crazy about Alex Wood, especially against righties. I think he's a little bit overrated. Not Luke Weaver overrated, but
here we go.
He's approaching that territory. 41% hard contact for Wood this year against righties. 20% K rate. Nothing special. Those two numbers, at least.
Yeah, I won't touch any of this game whatsoever outside of a little bit of Verlander and Wood. I won't have a hitter at all.
Randy, I don't know what you mean. Jake, weekday is MME?
He said, what is MME? Autocorrect got him. Mass
MME,
multi-entry.
Mass multi-entry. Yeah. So it's just you're firing 150 lineups into a tournament, or I guess 20 is considered mass multi-entry, right? In the
but it's a little bit. That one's a little bit more attainable.
Yeah.
150 is like the accepted norm for it, but you're not MMEing on a 20. It's just,
you're just trying to get differentiation. Well, most people, that's why they MME.
You're entering the max amount of entries that you could have for a particular tournament.
Yeah.
Are you laughing at T. McBee's answer?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. You were frozen like one of the MN 10,000 lakes in the winter. Yeah, Aaron, I see that. Seems like you and Jake get to the business, but with Chris, he is like the hype guy.
He is. He would be the one playing the rap air horn.
Yeah.
You ready to close this out?
I'm ready.
Moving through it pretty good today. Blue Jays and Mariners. Jay is 3.6 run implied total. Mariners 4.5. The 60% chance to win for the Mariners. Ryan Barucki going for Toronto. Marco Gonzalez going for Seattle. Marco Gonzalez projected 5% ownership on DK. I've got 0. I've got 0 pitching in this game, and I barely have any hitting. Only real thing that I'm interested in here, I guess, is the illustrious combo of Randall Grichuk and Teoscar Hernandez. Otherwise, I don't have much of anything here. Mariners are slightly popular, but ultimately, I don't see this game as being appealing for anything at all.
I'm not crazy about this game either. I will say, remember when we were talking about Marco Gonzalez? How he's someone to, it was before the All-Star break, how he's someone to kind of keep an eye on?
Yeah.
And he had that pretty good start against the Angels. So he had another one against the Angels. The swinging strike rate is low against them, but that's kind of to be expected with all those righties. He's just been really good at missing bats against the White Sox. He did what you expect. He went 6 1/3, 6 strikeouts, 2 earned. First start back, then had a nice start against the Angels, 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. As I mentioned, the swinging strike rate was low, but he just looks good to me over the last month and a half or so, doing it against like the Yankees, Red Sox, at least getting the swings and misses.
Yeah.
And then he's just been on a tear his last 5 starts. So, man, if he wasn't so expensive, almost $10K for Marco, I don't think it's that good of a spot, but he's someone that I will have.
5 out of his last 6 games, his K percentage has been higher than his season average. So, like, he's been on a bit of a heater.
Yeah, and you just look at these DK scores. Not that this tells you much, but 34.5, 25, 26, 23, 22. I mean, I'd take any of those. I'd take 22 tonight. I love Marco.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not. There's just so many righties, right?
There's just no real reason to pay $9,700 for him today.
Yeah, the mid tier is so good. You get Archer and Velasquez for $1,500 less.
Yeah, and 9 righties isn't going to help matters.
Right. God, I really want to play him. I do. But
Blue Jays are so cheap.
That's
Nobody's
true.
more expensive than $3,700.
9 righties in there. I'm probably stupid for considering Marco, but we shall see.
I just don't. It's such a unique situation for you to need him if he does well, you know?
Right. He would have
what
to
would he have
those...
to do? Like, he's not going to win or lose you a GPP.
Right. Unless he's going 7 innings, 8 Ks, no runs type of thing where he gets you 35 or something.
Yeah. And even then, like...
You're still probably fine because Archer or someone, Velasquez, Odorizzi is going to get you 25.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you have DeGrom and you get to 25 there, like... As long as you have the bats, you're fine. I've become incredibly pessimistic on pitching.
Me too. I think that's the smart way to approach it for the most part.
Yeah, it's almost as if I feel like they need to, I don't know what, tweak something.
Make pitchers score even higher, you mean?
Maybe? I don't know. I feel like the balance is a little out of whack.
Yeah. I think the secret's kind of out as far as winning GPPs.
Yeah.
So, I don't know even if that's a secret.
Nah, maybe not. This is nothing interesting to talk about in this game. I'm avoiding Marco Gonzalez, and I'm avoiding this entire game for all intents and purposes. So, about that time.
It is.
Crunch time. Give me 2.
All right, I'm gonna run mine right now. We'll see. So let's do the 2 mid-tier. Let's do Archer and Odorizzi, or Archer and Velasquez.
Archer and Velasquez, my number 1 combo. Oh, brother. So there's the 5-man twin stack, Chirinos and Chu with a Charlie Blackmon one-off. Sure thing. Nats, VR, Tim Beckham, one-off Stanton. Love it, nice. Love it, love it. Yeah, it's really easy to stack up here with these 2 guys.
Yeah. Those are the best options, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like just double mid-tier, that's going to be popular.
Yeah, I mean, I can pick just about anybody in that section. I'm going to grab DeGrom here just to get an idea of what it looks like at the top. So DeGrom, Vince Velasquez is my most popular combo with DeGrom. But, the average score for those Archer, Velasquez lineups and everything was 105, 106. This is in the 103, and there's only 3 of them. So I don't see the need to pay up all that much because there's so much decent stuff out there in bats. You can get to the 5-man Orioles stack, which looks good. And you can get the one-off Gallo, which is good. But then you're getting Michael Perez and Kiermaier. So, you're taking a little bit of a haircut on, the red. You can pretty much have whatever stack you want. But the filler is where you take the step back. Because nobody's going to be excited about a Michael Perez, Kevin Kiermaier 2-man,
Yeah. Yeah. Wait a minute. So, on Fantasy Cruncher, they have Yanni Chirinos in for Tampa.
That makes sense.
If he's starting or going to get the majority of innings here, I'll have a lot of him. So I just wanted to say that. I had no clue. I completely forgot he existed.
Yeah, he looked like it could be him. It was relatively close, though. He pitched on the 29th, so he's got enough time off, but he only went 57 pitches, 3 innings. What's his price?
So that's 5 days ago, right?
Yeah.
Today's the... Yeah. He is 5,100. Okay. I'm in. I think he's good too. All right, I'm in on Chirinos, so just wanted to say that.
I mean, when you say in, what do you mean?
I'm going to be well over the field on that.
Oh wow, yeah, no, I don't see that at all.
Is he going to get? Do we even have him being owned at all?
Probably not.
Because I don't know if Tom and Alex even put him in there. Yeah,
he's not in there. But I mean, how many innings do you think that he could throw? I'll make the change in mind just to see where he ends up. So Rays. Let's say that he throws 3.5 innings. Is that a reason?
Oh no, I think he throws more than that, right? He threw 87 on July 24th, 57 in his last. He was struggling in his last start. That's why he came out at 57. It looks like, but 87 the game before. I mean,
I'm gonna put 4.5 in there. I think it's hard to go too much more aggressive than that.
So I'm gonna put him.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I was gonna put him in as my starter and see what that changes for me because that, yeah, I like him. I like him as a pitcher. So even if he can only go 5, I'm interested. or even 4.5.
Did I spell his name right? I did. Oh, yeah, I deleted everybody. That makes sense. Where's Stanek? All right, so if I had Trinos in there and he was throwing 4 and change, he lines up. Yeah, so like I see him as like a slight notch ahead of Brett Anderson, but that's assuming that he goes, that I've got him in here for 4.5 innings. And I don't think that I can be too much more aggressive than that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll be more aggressive than that, I think. So I'm gonna take
game logs.
I'm gonna take Stanek out. Where the hell is Stanek?
Yeah, that's about as high as I can go. Went 6 2/3 against the Yankees on the 24th. Last time he went anything more than 5 innings was back in April. What was he doing in the minors? All right, so we went 5 innings, 21 batters on July 19th. Yeah, I can't go I can't go much further ahead than that. So yeah, I don't mind him. I guess if we're circling back to that, I'll have a little bit of him, but it'll probably be in like the 5% ish range or something like that.
Okay.
You know, just a little bit more spread to Blaine Hardy and Brett Anderson. Not anybody I want to go crazy over.
I just wanted to mention that I'm gonna have him in case I bank some GPPs with him. So just for full disclosure, I had no clue he was going. But if you're watching this, I'm on Yanni Chirinos.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. If this were a different slate, I could see having him a lot. But I just don't like dropping all the way down to that.
Okay, that's fair. I'm reading the chat right now. Let's see here. Anything interesting?
Nick M thinks it's Nick M's girlfriend thinks it's funny that I'm green screened onto a spreadsheet.
50 pitches.
I'd say it's rare, but there's a fairly prominent site that likes to poach my idea.
Yeah. Hey, imitation is the best form of flattery, right?
Yeah.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah. I'm not a big Cardinals fan, you know?
Oh, boy.
Anyway, do we have anything else we want to look at from a crunch perspective?
I don't think so.
Works for me.
I like how spread out your pitcher ownerships are. My projections are different. So, is that like when you crunch right away? Does it come out like that?
What do you mean?
Like you got 35, 20, 20, 17, 13. I would like my pitcher ownerships to look more like that, but I end up with like 65%, and then the next highest guy is like 20.
So I capped at 35% today.
Oh, okay.
And 20% randomness on pitchers.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So gets a little bit more wiggle room on guys. And I just like I've got we could look at it. It's not a huge deal. I've got a chart of like what I set exposures to based on how many games there are. So today, my stacks will be at 9% cap. Individual hitters will be at 23. Pitchers will be at 35.
Got it. I understand that. Sweet.
And that usually brings me into like my highest owned pitcher will be like slightly more than whoever the highest owned pitcher is for the field. So it keeps me on sort of like the same balance, just like with different guys.
Okay. Got it.
And then like, if we can, I know T McBee had a question. So like for a 14 game slate, I'm setting a 9, like we'll talk DraftKings, but it's the same for DraftKings and FanDuel. So I've got 9% set for my 5-man stack, 9% set for my 2-man stack, and then individual exposures for each hitter set at 23%. So if somebody is in all of the stacks every time they come up for a team, that's just 18%. So then you still have a little bit of wiggle room to get guys in as one-offs as well.
Yep. Got it. Someone asked, "Oh, do you have ownership on all pitchers when you MME?" Because I don't.
Not even remotely
Yeah.
close.
I purposely exclude pitchers. Like I was just doing that right now. Like I excluded Desclafani, David Hess, Ariel Jurado. Probably going to do it on Phil Meyer. Giolito's going to be excluded. Stanek's going to be excluded, obviously. So, I mean, I'll exclude higher price guys too that I don't like. Like
I don't even have like they just won't
maybe.
show up for me.
Yeah.
So like I have no Corbin, no Gonzalez, no Porcello. I have no Trevor Richards, Jurado, Desclafani, Barucki, Berea. I have 1% Stratton and Gant. So like I'm always going to get like one-off stragglers for just reasons. No Giolito, no Chirinos as of right now, but that'll change once I recrunch because he wasn't in there. No Phil Meyer, no Hess. So yeah, I'll have half of the pitchers just not in there at all.
Nice.
Yeah, Matt 1 Millie. If you go to the lineup rewind on Fantasy Cruncher, there's a fuck it, I'll do it. I'm already on here. So if you go to contest data, so in this case I'm on DraftKings. If you go to the DraftKings contest data, you can go and pick any tournament, and they'll have like whatever the cut line was. These aren't in here yet, but they'll refresh. Oh, that's because it's today. So let me just hop back, and then we'll get out of here. Okay, so this is for yesterday's. And if I hop back to it, like if you were in, the four-seamer, the cut line was 153.15. And they have all that information. So Fantasy Cruncher, use the lineup rewind, man. That's where all of the info is.
Yeah, get Fantasy Cruncher.
True story. Anything else?
No, just tune in to you and Chris tonight.
Live stream tonight at 6 o'clock. Myself and Chris are going to be going live. I don't know when, because apparently Chris was up quite late. He responded to my tweet at like 6:30 in the morning, so he was still awake at 3:30. Might not be seeing him for a minute or two. But Chris and I are going to do a live stream of our wide receiver breakdown today, just because we're going to be able to do that. So check that out. I'll have quick hits out a little bit later. Check out Spotlight Hitters, Pitchers, Stacks.
Yeah. Gonna be a good slate.
It is. Best of luck, everybody. I'll see you tonight.